Hey. Hello, everybody. Hello to those that are on Podbean. Hello to everyone that is looking at me. This is on Facebook only today, just on Facebook. And this is really coming from my personal page, not my my big time show page. Hello on Podbean Class 1 Probe. How you doing? To those that are there on Facebook land, how are you today? Quick preview show for tomorrow. That, of course, tomorrow is Tuesday. As we know by now, the Big Time Show podcast airs on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. 7:30 Central Time. We will be live on the air on tomorrow on every platform that we do the live broadcast from. Of course, that means Podbean, YouTube, Periscope, and of course here on Facebook. Tomorrow's show has potential to be a little crazy, if you allow me to say that. It has the potential to be a little crazy tomorrow because as of right now, the deadline for franchise tags happen actually on tomorrow. As of now, there's talk that things could be extended. But as of right now, the franchise tag day is tomorrow, which of course means that we're going to know one of two things tomorrow. Obviously, about our beloved quarterback, Mr. Prescott. It's either he's going to be franchised tomorrow or he's going to get a long-term deal on tomorrow. Hey, Tommy, what's up? I see you. Of course, if you've been following me by now, you already know exactly what I'm thinking. You already know that I feel like that we will tag him on tomorrow. If the deadline is on tomorrow, I feel like that we will tag him and they'll give us the same song and dance that they gave us last year. If you remember last year, they tagged him last year around this time. And then they said that we'll have the deal done by July of last year. That's the time that you have, if you tag somebody, you have those few months there to work out a long-term deal. That's what they told us last year. And that's till July. However, there are some differences between last year and this year. We got a lot of work to do past Dak Prescott as far as the roster goes. And we need to know exactly how much money are we dealing with to get some help. Maybe not as for big name free agents, but just free agents in general. We have to know exactly what we're working with. So tomorrow, either they're going to tag them tomorrow, and of course, we all know by now what that number is, right at $38 million. And if things stay the same, we know how much by now, how much that counts against the cap for us. And so we'll know what we have to do after tomorrow, unless they extend the deadline, which there's talks about that. It hadn't been confirmed yet, but we'll know on tomorrow, y'all. To me, it's the same old thing. So we'll see exactly if they come up with something different. Hey, Maples on Podbean, how you doing? Either way it goes, we're in the the rubber's about to meet the road now. It's different from last year. It's quite different from last year. quite different. Very extremely different. My opinion, I think they're going to tag them and give us the runaround and saying we're going to have the deal done before July. And if you do, if it's not quickly done, look how much you're missing out on possibly in free agency or whatever. Because, you're trying to work out this deal. And if the top tier free agents that you could get if you space the money out right will be gone by that time. It just all depends. Either way it goes, it just don't look good for the Jones family at all. Dak is just sitting back, waiting. He's good. Either he gonna get $38 million in 1 year, or he's going to end up getting a long-term deal. Is no other way to look at it. We've talked about this for the last, oh my goodness, since the season ended. We talked about it before the season ended. We talked about it when he got hurt. We talked about it before he got hurt. We talked about it the year before. I mean, we've looked at it in so many different angles. So tomorrow, unless the deadline changes again, we are talking about the same old thing, but it's a little different now. Things got to get done now. So we'll see on tomorrow. This is what we'll be talking about tomorrow. So I don't want to commit to too much to the show tomorrow because tomorrow's actions are going to kind of dictate which way I take the show. So I can't give you a solid thing. Either we're going to be talking about him getting tagged and how ticked off some of you guys will be, or we're going to be talking about him possibly, getting some type of deal done. And that deal does not have to be done by tomorrow. But if they don't tag him tomorrow, that kind of will let us know exactly, in my opinion, that we're trying to get something done. So we'll see. So tomorrow I can't commit to you. Hey, Queen, I see you. What Queen say? Queen says that owners like Jerry and Steven and bastardize the franchise tag into something extremely dirty and disrespectful. No doubt about it. And that's what another angle that we possibly could be talking from on tomorrow. So, like I said, I don't want to commit to anything quite yet. Hey, Miss Ty, I see Miss Ty's entering in on Podbean, one of the great patrons of the show. So tomorrow, I don't know how it's going to go. We'll just have to see. Keep your look. If you don't have notifications on your phone, put them on now. Go if you're on Bleacher Report, just type in the Cowboys and turn on the notifications. Whether it's ESPN, listen. Whatever happens with Dak, you won't be able to miss it. It's gonna be everywhere anyway. Whether it's Fox, CNN, whatever, Bleacher Report, everybody's talking about, hey, Mike, I see you. Hey, Mike. It's going to be just keep your notifications on. Something is going to happen. No other little clues. If you start seeing contracts getting restructured by the Cowboys, that lets you know they're trying to make it happen for Dak. Because you've heard by now we don't really have a lot of money. So if you start seeing restructures, that's a sign that it's a good sign that he's going to be franchised. So nothing should surprise you guys. I mean, nothing. Yeah, exactly. Mike looks at it differently from an optimistic point of view. Mike said with no news coming out of the start, that's good news towards a long-term deal. I believe it when I see it, Mike. That's all thing I'm gonna say. I personally hope that that's the case, but I heard the same thing last year, so I can't get hyped. I'm expecting franchise. So it is what it is. And then, of course, you get that talk saying, hey, we're going to get the deal done before July. Deadlines to make deals. Jerry Jones, I've never had a deal that I couldn't make and all that kind of stuff. All that, you hear all that coming up. So that's just my opinion. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm 100% wrong. I hope I am. But tomorrow is going to be a very telling day if they don't move the deadline back again. I think they're trying to extend it a little bit more, but that hadn't been set in stone yet. So tomorrow's going to be kind of interesting because I don't know what I'm talking about. It'll be Cowboy related. I don't know. Either y'all going to be ticked off or y'all going to be kind of numb and in limbo, or you're going to be very happy because some type of possible long-term deal is in the works. So we'll see on tomorrow. That's the show for tomorrow evening. Listen, if you follow me on and all of you guys that are on here, a few people that are on here, it's obvious that you follow my personal page. If you saw my personal page, I can't let this go until I slightly talk about it. All I want to know is I'm quite sure I'm going to lose some of y'all now, but thank y'all for hanging out. But listen, I look, did y'all see the interview last night? I know y'all did. If you haven't seen it, I know you heard about it with Prince Harry and Meghan and Oprah Winfrey last night. I know y'all saw that. I know you did. For all y'all Cowboy fans that popped in, thank you. God bless you. We'll see you on tomorrow at 7:30. If you're on Podbean, I have to just touch this just a little bit. Did y'all see that interview yesterday? I know you saw it. I know you saw it. I know you did. I know you saw it. Let me ask some of y'all this. I mean, for real. Let be honest now. Be honest. Be honest. If you hanging with me on Podbean, if you still hanging with me, can you just be honest? Can you be honest? If you're hanging with me now on Facebook, can you be honest? If you saw the interview, were you really surprised? I mean, for real. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. I mean, there are a lot of telling things that happen in the interview. Yeah, Mike. Mike, you need to watch it and judge it for your own self. Let me just break it down to you. It's real simple. It ain't gonna take long. Prince Harry is a legitimate 100% prince. Okay, there's no talking about that. When he was born, he was a prince immediately. That's forever him. It's his birthright. He's a prince. If he was to have children, they become princes or princess if it's a girl, or prince if it's a boy. That's their birthright. If they marry, their wife becomes, depending on what it was, the Duchess of whatever, or they'll never be the queen, but they're the Duchess, and I don't know exactly what all the titles mean, but it automatically comes when you marry the prince. He is a legitimate prince. Him and his brother are princes. They are in line to become kings at some point in time, upon, of course, the Queen of England's death. Prince Harry married a black woman, so let me just skip through the field here. Married a black woman. If you know Meghan is mixed of a mixed race. However, when it comes to America, at least, and obviously the world, that if you marry a black person, or a person, if you mix with black, that person is identified as black. They don't never identify people as half white, or it's just not the way that it is. Tiger Woods is mixed, but he's identified, even though he won't want to identify it, but he's identified as a black man. Steph Curry is a black man. Patrick Mahomes is a black man. Why? Because they got black in them. And the way this country sees it, they don't even consider you half white. You're black. So, and if you have any piece of black in you, you're black. Prince Harry marries a mixed girl who identifies herself as an African-American woman. She's black. Prince Harry loves the girl. She loves him. They get married. They have children. Now, it's Mike, if you still with me, it's simple. If Prince Harry has a son, which he did, that son becomes a prince upon birth. That's the way that it's been for centuries and thousands of years when it comes to English people. That's what the monarchy has in line. That's what happened. He had a son. It just so happened to be a son by this black woman. And which means that the child has black blood in him, obviously. And according to the rules of where it always have been, the rule is if you got a one drop of black blood in you, guess what you are? You're black. His birthright, the baby's birthright, little Archie is his name. Archie, Prince Archie is his name. Don't know nothing. Don't know ABCs. Don't know 1, 2, 3. Don't know nothing. Just a baby. Just don't know how to talk yet. Don't know how to walk yet. Just where he walking, of course, but he's just a baby. Sesame Street loving baby. Baby. Don't know nothing about his future. You don't know what he really is. Hadn't identified that part of his life yet. And it looked like, according to the monarchy, he never will. Why is that, Mike? Since you're here with me. The reason why is because they won't identify the child as a prince. They won't identify him as a potential king to England. They didn't give him the title. They didn't give him security as every other prince has in England, or when they move across the world. He doesn't get the benefits as his brother's children has. He doesn't get the benefit as he had when he was a little boy. He don't get it. Why? You know what it is, right? The interview said, Mike, you need to go look at it. The interview said that there were questions about how dark the skin color would be for the child, the baby. Yes, the royal family, Mike. But what we found out in the interview, that the royal family does not kind of make the real decision. There's a quote unquote people that's called the firm. The firm runs it now. There wasn't 100% clarification on how many people in the firm and who makes it, but all we know is they make the decisions for the family. They handle their public appearances. They handle the interviews that they put out. They handle everything for them. There were discussions on how dark, what we learned last night is there was discussions on how dark the skin color would be for the child. I mean, come on now. You got to look at it for yourself. For those that didn't see it, you got to look at it. It's unbelievable. But then again, it is believable. It really is believable, because when it all boiled down to it, racism is incredibly alive. The prince has been Prince Harry, who has been the prince since birth, has had to give up his title as the prince. He no longer works in the royal family. The wife, of course, doesn't work in the royal family. Why is that? See, if you're having problems with the skin color of the baby gonna be, then obviously you got a problem with the skin color of the wife that he married. Yeah, buddy. All of this being stripped away. The security for the prince is gone. He had to pay for his own security. Actually, out of the interview said that Tyler Perry paid for the security of the prince and his wife. The royal family, the firm, or whatever, decided to strip all that away. We learned last night that Prince Harry said they cut his money off. I mean, come on. I mean, all of this because he married a black woman. And now the royal family, I mean, it's already done now. The royal family has a mixture now in their bloodline that is black. Can't be taken away. Little Archie, when little Archie grows up and has a baby, hey, he comes from mixed parents, which means he's going to carry some of that DNA to his children. And it really makes you wonder sometimes, what world are we living in? It does. It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder will things that really get better, all that kind of stuff. And this is just another example of how ridiculous some people really are. All because he married a black woman. Well, I remember when they got married. I hate to say this. I do. I hate to say it. I said when she walked down the aisle, I said, wow, you had a lot of black people that were there at the wedding by invitation. And I said, they're not used to this. No, they're not used to this. No. And it make you wonder, that was a prayer. A lot of folk were praying for Meghan because, that they ain't never seen this before. And oh Lord, that's another whole topic within itself. Things really boil down to black and white, doesn't it? It really does. Especially when you start talking about relationships. It's nothing new. I mean, it's been like this forever. We just got another chapter of how racial people really are. Here's my solution, because I don't want to keep harping on that. But Mike, if you still here, or for those that are just looking at me right now or whatever, or watch this replay, if you haven't seen the interview, look at it for yourself, and you'll see everything that I said was true. And you got to be asking yourself, okay, why? Why is this? Why? It's only one reason. Only one. Only one. You can't even dance around it. It's only one reason. Because he got involved with a black woman. That's just the bottom line. And so here's your solution. Just make sure that you're not teaching your son and daughter like this. That's really it. The old saying is everything starts at home. What are you teaching your child at home? Some people say, well, what you teaching yours? Now, here's what I'm going to teach mine. What I'm going to teach mine is that you treat people how you want to be treated, and you give everybody a chance. But please understand why you're giving people a chance. Please understand the way that things really are. Oh, I'm going to teach mine it. See, it can't be avoided. Racism, as proven by last night, is alive and well. Even in the royal family, even in the hierarchy, it's alive and well. And you have to make sure that you're not see, babies are babies. They don't have they don't come in racial at the beginning. I saw this for myself when my son was in Little Hardin Academy here in Memphis. And he was a baby. He was a baby in there at 18 months old. And my son noticed Caucasian women who took care of him, Caucasian women who changed his diapers, and Caucasian women who gave him his bottle and played with him. And the relationship started then. And my son, at 1 and 2 years old, would see the teacher and would run to her, begging her to pick him up. He didn't care. He didn't care about the woman blue eyes. He didn't care nothing about no blonde hair. He didn't even notice that there was difference in skin. That's baby. That's what babies do. That's what they don't know nothing about it, but they had to be programmed into what we are now. Somewhere along the way, they had to learn racism. They had to learn how to treat people differently. You just make sure you're not teaching people like that in your house. That's how. Do you want to know how we kill it or try to kill it? You just make sure that you don't teach your children, your nieces, your nephews, racist type behavior. For some of us, it's too late because we already in. I'm really talking to the young folks because people my age, we already kind of settled in. It is what it is. If you were raised in the 70s, you already had this theory when it comes to race relations. You do. Your parents, if you're my age, your parents were born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s, and then they taught you everything that they learned from their childhood. So people my age are already stained. It's just that simple. It's nothing. It's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Kush, I see you, man. There's nothing wrong. It is what it is. I'm 48 years old. My mother and father were born in the early 50s. They were black, obviously. They were raised in the 60s, the 50s, the 60s. They were grown in the 70s. Okay? They only knew one way how to be raised, and they knew one way on race relations. If you're Caucasian and you're my age, 48 in your 40s, your parents were born in the 50s, 60s, whatever. And their raising and the way that they grew up obviously were quite different than my parents. And so they either, I'm not judging. I'm just saying when it came to, we don't have to go back that far. We know how black people were treated back then. And if your parents or your grandparents participated in that, you didn't have nothing to do with that. But when does the curse end? When do we change the narrative of how or what we pass down to our children? Last night was ridiculous. If for those that just came on, I'm talking about now. I already talked about Cowboys, but I'm talking about Prince Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey. You ought to check it out yourself. It's not mind blowing to black people. I hate to say it, but it's just true. We're not really surprised. There's a lot. It's not surprising at all. It's not. Dare I say that some of that stuff is almost expected? Can I say that? Hello, Total Web 01. Thanks for joining in on Podbean. I've already talked about the Cowboys already. For those that like that. So talking about the little interview from last night. It starts at home. Bottom line. You know, you have to change the narrative. The babies don't come in prejudice. They learn prejudice. They learn racism. You have to make sure that what we're teaching our own house. That's how we're going to change the narrative. Will it all go up? Look, and I'm not a fool. Look, racism has been a part of the Bible days. I mean, come on now. That's how far it goes back. Your Bible is loaded with racism, loaded with it. And so if it started back in the Bible days, and here we are in 2021, and we see an interview of blatant racism, blatant it. That lets me know that is here. And I don't think that is really going anywhere. And I realize God can do any and everything. I realize that. The racism ain't went nowhere. It's here. You just have to make sure if you're not racist, you know, if you're racist, then I'm speaking foreign language. So I ain't even talking about those type of people. Yeah. Yes, Mike. That was there. If you watched the interview last night, they showed clips of some of the tabloid titles that was associated with Meghan. And yes, that was one of them, what you just put down there. So you got to ask yourself, okay, why didn't you just call her Meghan? Why you had to call her that name? You see what I'm saying? There's a little stuff like that, you know. Hey, it's still here. Racism is still here. And it's probably not going nowhere. I mean, I'm not a fool. I mean, it is what it is. But sooner or later, you have to make a decision on your own children, on what you deposit into them. And you got to make sure that they don't fall into the same curses that maybe some of you have fallen into, and maybe, no doubt, some of your grandparents and great-grandparents, fell into. You got to make sure that something has to change. Black people have to make sure that they don't charge all white people for stuff that happened way back then. Every white person is not racist. You know, that you can't teach everybody and say all white people are racist. You can't. That's not the truth. That is not the truth. You can't say that. You know, some people are so messed up because they really don't associate with black people really a lot. Some people don't even know if they're racist or not, to be honest with you, because they ain't been hit with racist situations. The situations would dictate and tell you whether if you're racist or not. Some folks just don't even get to that point. Their world is not challenged like that. So they don't know if they're racist or not. You know, we're living in a time now where back when I was 16 to 18 years old, that, it was difficult if a black guy liked a white girl or a white girl liked a black young man. It was more difficult for that kind of thing to happen because it really wasn't, it was better, but it wasn't widely accepted compared to today. Oh, today is no problem at all. I mean, it's a problem, but it's more accepted now. It really is. It's really accepted. I come from a time where if if white girls like black guys, it was a sneaky type relationship. You had to sneak everywhere. Now is wide open. It's go on dates and everything else. I'm just telling you what the truth is. That's where I come from. So we have to make this decision that we don't have this type of thing that you see where people are asking how dark this baby gonna be. How dark is the baby gonna be? And from that, the bottom line is that the little baby is not whose birthright, I may say. This is not America. You got to think along English terms. The birthright for that baby that Meghan and Prince Harry had is his birthright to be a king one day. That's his birthright. He comes into the world as a prince. He comes into the world rich. He comes into the world loaded. He comes into the world privileged. He comes into the world privileged. Yes. When those if you're born up from a prince, though all that come with him. They stripped him of that. Y'all look at the interview yourself. Y'all see it. Y'all look at it. Y'all come back and comment on this thing if you feel like it. It is totally ridiculous. It is. It is. And I hate to say it, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Y'all join me tomorrow night, 7:30. I won't be talking about this. I'll be talking cowboy stuff, okay? I'll be talking cowboy stuff because this kind of stuff would make people itch. This kind of stuff here make people very uncomfortable when I'm talking about stuff like this. It just had to be said, though. It's the truth. But let me say this, and I'll leave you. Look, if you saw the interview and you heard this and you saw it, and if you're one of the people that don't have a problem with what the royal family and the firm did, I'll just go ahead and say this to you. You are a part of the problem. Yes. You may need to check yourself and see what's really on the inside of you. Exactly. Hey, my cousin is on here. Vicky says they stripped him of all rights as a prince. They stripped Prince Harry and they stripped his son. The birthright that both of them have. The birthright. His brother who's married to Kate, their children, automatic, no problem. So you got to ask yourself, okay, the two brothers did the same thing. They married, okay? They married two women, okay? His brother married Kate, and no problem. They had children, birthright. They're dressed as the title as prince and princess. It's the same thing, okay? Prince Harry marries Meghan, and they had a child, and she's pregnant now. It was announced last night that they have a girl on the way, so that's a princess. They have a son, little named Archie. Sound like the same thing. His brother got married to a girl. He got married to a girl. Brother had children, and he had a child, okay? The brother's children are prince and princesses and all what comes along with that. That's theirs. They're rich upon birth. Millions of dollars already is associated to the name. Okay, then we look at Harry and Meghan, and they got married. They did it the right way. They got married. They dated. They got married. Then they had a child, and now she's pregnant again. But yet, Prince Harry's child don't get the same thing. Don't get nothing. Actually, they stripped the title away from the little baby. Stripped the title from Prince Harry. Why is that? Why is that? Okay, let's look at it. Okay, let's look at Kate. Kate is a beautiful Caucasian woman. Okay, all right. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's look at Harry, Prince Harry's wife. Okay, she's a beautiful woman, but she's mixed. Okay, what's she mixed with? Is she mixed with Caucasian and Spanish? Is she that? No, she's not that. No. Oh, okay. What she look like? Okay. Yeah, exactly. I know that. Well, what is she mixed with? Is she half Polish and half white? I mean, what is she? Oh, no, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's not it. That's not it. What is she? Is she Caucasian and half Russian? Is that it? No, that ain't it. She got a beautiful son. Look, Archie, he's just nice. Oh my God. He's a handsome Joker. Yes. But what is he? He white and black. Say that again. He's mixed with white and black, sir. One more time. One more time. What is it? What is he? He's white and black. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What thank you, Vic. What is Megan? What is Megan? She's mixed with white and black too. She's black and white. She's black and white, you know. She's real light skinned, but she has a lot of black in her. She's mixed. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that child that they have, there's black DNA in little Archie? Yeah. Oh no, we can't have that in the royal family. No. We're gonna strip him. Mm-mm. Basically, that's what it is, y'all. Now, y'all can get mad at me all you want. That's what it is. Hello, Miss Orange and Symbolized Tales, and for those that joined in on Podbean, you know, it's not my cousin Vicky just brings out a very unique point. She says, why would they ask a question about his skin tone? She's so light skinned. Where would a dark complexion come from? Okay. That's another whole story in itself, because if you look at Megan, she can pass for what she actually is. She is half white, so she could claim and say, I'm white. I can live like a white woman, and she looked like it, you know. And then, of course, if you saw the last night, you saw little Archie walking around. There's not a real dark complexion. It's nothing there to say. If you said Archie is a white man, nobody would argue because he looks white. So to go to what my cousin is saying, I don't even think that's the issue. The issue is they got black blood in them. We don't care if they look white. We know that they got black blood in them. And we got a problem with it. That's the bottom line. Why else would all this stuff be going on? They stripped Harry of something that I don't know how old Prince Harry is, but prior to all this happening, he had money all his life. They cut his money off. A true real prince. They forget the baby, forget his wife. They cut his money off. They punishing him. Oh yeah, Miss Vicky. That's what it boiled down. The equation, as you see, my cousin is on here saying it very plain to see, as we all know after watching the interview, that Megan, just by her presence alone, is the problem. What is her presence? I mean, she's nice, she smiles, She talks. She know how to she know how to function in crowds. She's an actress within her own self. She know how to, as we say, she know how to play the game. If the game is being played, she know how to play it. What is the difference? Her presence is they know that this woman got black in her. And consequently, they know that the royal bloodline, which is now in Archie, there's a mixture of some black in him. And before we get too black, we're going to go and cut all y'all off. Y'all can't tell me racism is not alive. It's just simple. It's just that simple. Make sure that you guys don't pass your racist, and it is for black people too. Make sure that you don't pass your racist views down to it got to stop somewhere, y'all. I mean, will it stop? Probably not. But it can stop in your house. Even if you're guilty of some things. If your heart is right, you can change it. There are plenty of people walking God's green earth that were 100% racist, and now they don't have a drop of racism inside their bodies because God changed their heart. Which means he changed their mind, changed it. If the heart is changed, the mind will change, your actions will change, everything else. Just make sure that we don't pass that down to your people that you love, and just make sure you don't pass it down. I'm going to try my best to do it for my son, but at the same time, I have to tell him the history because it's saying, well, is it history? It can't be history if it's present. It's not history. This is not history. This is something that has never changed. So you have to make your people aware of what's going on, but you don't have them making people guilty of things that have happened, years and years and years ago. Although we still see it today, you have to make them aware so they don't become foolish or naive. You have to tell them that. Exactly. You have to tell them. I have a black son, dark like I am. I have to tell him when he gets a little older, if the Lord allows me to live, I have to tell him the significance of being in a crowd. I have to tell him that. I have to. I have to tell him about if in the event that he's pulled over by a policeman. I have to tell him how to act. I have to tell him that. I have to tell him that even though even though you may be older and the police officer may be younger, I have to tell him, you have to say yes, sir. You have to say no, sir. You yeah. These are talk. I'm serious. I have to tell him. I have to tell him the clothes that he's wearing because of past events. I have to tell him that. I have to tell him. I have to tell him that. I have to tell him that there's a certain thing that you can't do that others can do. Yeah, Mike. There it is. It's called The Talk. This is my wife, y'all. Hold on. Hey. Oh, okay. All righty. Hey, son. Okay. I'll see you when you get home, okay? All right. I love you, son. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey. See, right now I can just say that right there. He called me, say he on the way home. See, them the kind of talk is gonna change as he get older. See, he only 6 years old right now. So, I'm still in that, I'm in that stage now. I ain't, as Mike just said, I haven't had to have the talk yet. But at 6 years old, some kids already have learned racist behavior because it's been taught. And so one of these days it's gonna hit them because it's natural. I just got to make sure that I'm prepared when that happens. It could happen in the first grade, kindergarten, where he at now, kindergarten, because people have taught that. It is what it is, y'all. This is the time that we live in. This is our country. This is our country's history. That part has not changed. I have to tell them all this kind of stuff. I have to tell them. I have to tell him that in the event that he likes a Caucasian woman and the Caucasian girl or woman likes him, I have to tell him, be prepared. I have to tell him, be prepared. I have to tell him, be prepared. You have to be prepared. Everybody not going to be celebrate that y'all like each other. If that's what he likes. Shoot, they don't like black people getting with another black person. So you know how they're going to feel about a black person getting with a white girl. I mean, come on now. I'm just telling y'all. It's sad. It really is sad. It's sad what I saw last night. If you haven't seen the interview, it's got to be somewhere by now. Go and look at the interview with Prince Harry, Meghan, and Oprah Winfrey, and it's gonna shock some of you. It's gonna shock some of you. It really is. It's gonna shock some of you. You need to go check it out. It's really, really, really it's really sad that in 2021 we're still there. Mike, hey Mike. Mike says all his 3 of his kids are biracial. Hey, you know, it's nothing that I can say is that it's just the truth, especially if you have sons. If you have sons, Mike, they're black. At least that's the way the world is going to categorize them as. They're black. Tiger Woods has just as much right to say he's half whatever. Steph Curry has a white mother and a black father, has much right to say, hey, I'm white. That's not the way the world looks at him. He black. Mahomes, black father, white woman. Black man, white woman. They're black. That's the way the world is going to look at them. It is what it is. And you have to have those talks. And when you have those talks, you just have to, you have to ask God for wisdom and try to teach your child the right way. I mean, that's really all you got to take care of your house. You take care of your house, brother Mike. I don't know what you teach your children and whatever the case may be, but if you're instilling in them how to treat people, then your contribution to this world are going to be 3 kids that learned the right way of how to treat people. That can only be classified as a benefit. It's not a detriment. And the opposite, if you try to teach them racial stuff or whatever, which I'm quite sure you're not, but let's just say if you did, that's a detriment to the world. So like I said, it starts in your own house. I know. I'm sorry if I didn't talk to y'all about. I talked to y'all about Cowboys real early in the thing. Tomorrow we're gonna do that tomorrow. I had to plug all this in because I was very yeah, it's numbing. It's not surprising. It's like just some things kind of like leave you like, wow. I mean, that you would take away this baby's birthright. I mean, his birthright. He's entitled, according to the people over in the Commonwealth. This is what the baby is entitled to just by showing up in the earth. And it's amazing only because he's black. You have decided we're not gonna. He's still a prince. He is what he is. You can try to take it away, but you can't take away what he is now. I mean, you can take away the title, you can take away the money, whatever. He's still the son of a prince, which means he is a prince. That can't be taken away. But it's amazing how people are doing it. And that's very, very, very sad. To let you know that in 2021, guess what? Things really have not changed at all. And for those that got upset with me, and for those that may be looking at me but did not click in because you don't want to be known as that you watching me, that's cool. I don't mind. And for those that be watching this little replay, if you done hung on this long, then at least if you don't take nothing away from what I have said, it's real simple. Watch what you're passing down. If you're stained, so be it. I'm stained. Okay. I was raised by people that were born in the 50s and the 60s who couldn't walk down certain parts of Memphis without the police coming and busting them upside the head. That's what my parents grew up in. So they can only tell me what they learned. They didn't know nothing about this life that we're living now. They weren't raised in it. They had to be raised with caution. Watch what you say. Watch what you do. Watch where you go. Watch how you dress. Watch all that kind of stuff. That's how I was raised. Turn your signal light on. Just don't turn. Dot your I's and cross your T's. If you're in the crowd, get out the crowd. That's what I was taught. I'm stained. I'm stained with the thought of that my parents primarily said that, they had the thought of that you can't trust white people at all. They were born in the 50s and 60s. I mean, y'all help me out here. That's how they were raised. You can't trust the white person. That's what I was trained as. Times have changed slightly. I gotta watch how I present that part to my son, because this is not the 50s and the 60s. This is not the 70s. This is 2021, and although it exists, it still exists. You have to make it aware, but it's not like it was back then. It wasn't as blatant. It's more sophisticated now. You just have to make your child aware of the sophistication, but you give them a chance. You give them a chance to live. Their experiences are not going to be what our experiences were. I'm stained. It don't mean that I have to stain my son, though. It does not mean that. It does not mean that. I'm not going to sit them down and say, hey, when you see white people do this, you do that. Or white people is this and white people is... Now, look, I'm not Malcolm X. I'm not walking around saying all white people are the devil. I'd be lying if I said that. I know some white folks that are not, I mean, good folks. I know some bad black folks that seem like they come straight from the devil. You see what I'm saying? It's all about what you pass down. And so what we have to make sure, even though Many of us are stained by parents and their teachings. It does not mean that you have to pass down your stain. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It does not mean that you got to pass that down. When the time comes, if the child, your child, or whatever has a racial type episode, then it's time to go ahead and, hey, it's time to talk. It's time to talk. My son, to my knowledge, because I would have known, because he would have came and told me, my son has not been called the N word yet. Notice I said yet. He's 6 years old. He has not, at least to his knowledge, he has not been called the N word yet. I'd be foolish to think that walking across, I ain't talking about, and we're living in a time now where I'm not even talking about another black person calling another black person the N word, but that's almost like a term of endearment, which is really not, but that's just the world that we live in. I'm talking about the viciousness of somebody else calling you that and really meaning it. That's what I'm talking about. It ain't happened yet. But when it does, guess what? I got some explaining to do. I'm going to have I got to have a history lesson then. Where all that come from and why you got called it and what it really means. And if somebody really mean that means that they're this and they're that. And it does not mean that you have to knock their head off. It don't mean that. They put their hand on you, however, we got a problem. See that? I mean, y'all, this is what I have to. The time is coming. It just hadn't hit you yet. Exactly, Mike. You see what I'm saying? We gotta wait until the time comes. If God bless them that they don't ever hear it, my goodness, thank be unto God. And hopefully, you're not gonna make everything up. They're just people that automatically, it's kind of like Megan and the baby, Archie. They literally are not liked because of their presence. And you and I, some of you are looking at me. Some of you know that when you walk into a room, there are people, black and white, that just don't like you just because you just showed up. You ain't said hello to them. They don't even know your name. You ain't even had conversations with them. They just do not like your presence. They don't like it. They don't like it. And it is what it is. You just have to guard your children as best as you can. And when the time comes, then you talk. I'm not volunteering this talk at 6 years old. It ain't time. I'm not. Come here, son. Come here. Sit down. Let me tell you this. Let me give you the voting rights of the 1968 voting right. No. Let me tell you what Malcolm X said. Come here. Let me tell you what Dr. King said. Come here, son. Sit down. Let me tell you about the fire hydrants and water hose. Hey, look, it's not time yet. See, I got it all in me. It's there. It's there. I can talk about it. I know about it. Son, let me tell you. Come here. Let me tell you. Look, son, if somebody call you an N word, then this is what. It ain't time yet. It's not time yet. He shake and hug people's hand. He don't know nothing about all this stuff we talking about. He don't know. He don't know. And until he start figuring it out, that's when I come into play. So I'll talk to y'all too long about that. I just thought it was sad. Go check out the interview with and listen to it for yourself. That's the only thing I can say. Listen to it for yourself. And you be your own judge. See if you have the same opinion as I do. Go watch it for yourself. All right. tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., the Big Time Show podcast will happen. No doubt about it. I will be in rare form. If you want to contribute to the show, there it is. There's my Cash App, $, the Big Time Show. I hope that you would consider become a patron of my show. Just support it. I don't, this is not my primary source of income. I have a job. It's just a hobby of mine. But if you like what I do or like what I say and you want to contribute to it, there it is. That's the Cash App. If you're on Podbean, if you want to become a patron of my show and follow me, first of all, if you want to follow me, just follow me. Click on there and follow the show. You get to hear the show tomorrow night. If you want to become a patron of the show, there it is. All you have to do is press that button, say become a member, follow those little simple instructions, and you can become a patron of the show. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging with me for just a second. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7:30. It's going to be live. Y'all come ready. The Big Time Show is coming with some foolishness tomorrow, because I got a feeling I already know what's going to happen on tomorrow. So you know I'm going to be in rare form, right? Talking about this Dak Prescott situation. I'll see you guys on tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central Time for the Big Time Show. Y'all better get ready. I'm coming. I'm coming tomorrow night, y'all. Y'all need to come hang with me, okay? We'll see you. See you tomorrow night, Podbean. 7:30 Central Time for the one and only. It is the Big Time Show. Woo!